From The Opposite of Fate by Amy Tran. For as long as I can remember, I have been curious about how I remember. The earliest memory I have is of an event that took place under a tree. I was 1.5 years old, and I know I was that age because of the season and the details of the yard and the house. I remember that I was sitting on the cool lawn on a hot day. Around me was a low fence, and to my right was a white house with dark doorways that led to naps. My big brother and parents were above me. Suddenly, something hit my head. My brother laughed. Although it did not hurt that much, I was startled and cried loudly to voice my displeasure, lest it happen again. After a while, I picked up what had fallen on my head. It filled my entire palm, a fuzzy golden ball. It was a peach, I recalled to my mother. She thought for a while, and then said that it was not a peach, but an apricot, for the parish house in Fresno was the only place we had lived that had a fruit tree in the yard. And this made sense, that it was an apricot, for an apricot would have filled my 18-month-old hand in the way a peach would fill my adult one. There was another time, when I was 7, that I realized that memories were elusive, that you could not will them to stay, and that some you could not will to go away. I was old enough to understand that some things were in my memory like waking morning dreams. No matter how much I tried to hang on to them, they slipped away. And when I tried to find a way to remember them by, say, writing about them or drawing a picture of them, the result was not even close. And the result then became the memory that replaced the real thing. As a child, I tried to develop a number of mnemonic devices. Whenever I felt wronged or misunderstood, I would stare at my hands, the creases in my palms. I would tell myself, I will always be the same person, just as I will always have these same hands. I had knowledge that my body would continue to change, although in what ways I did not know precisely. But I stared at my hands and vowed to remember this day, these same hands, and the feeling of injustice I felt in being accused of wrongdoing when it had never been my intention at all. Looking at my palms today, I can see those splinters from my childhood. I can feel once again the slivers slipping under my skin, hear myself promise never to forget who and what had injured me. I think of those slivers as ingredients for stories. With them, I can concoct thousands of stories, not simply a single bona fide one. The stories I write concern the various beliefs I have held and lost and found at various times of my life. And having now written several books, I realize those beliefs most often have had to do with hope and expectation, hope and disappointment, loss and hope, fate and hope, death and hope, luck and hope. They sprang from the questions I had as a child. How did that happen? What's going to happen? How do I make things happen? When I write my stories, I do not use childhood memories. I use a child's memory. Through that child's mind, I am too inexperienced to have assumptions, so the world is still full of magic. Anything can happen. All possibilities. I have dreams. I have fantasies. At will, I can enter that world again.